Booyah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. It seems that the Trump effect continues to spread. And while we usually talk about the negative things about Donald Trump when we're talking about the incoming trade war, we're talking about 51st state, which I don't think is all that negative, but we're talking about how it's affecting Canada in particular. It's time we switch gears and get a little more worldly news going on that puts a smile on my face, at least. Let me know if it does for you guys. Things erupting in England. People have had enough. When we look about Mark Carney coming into office after decimating England during their whole Brexit movement, it's starting to look like those folks have had enough. If there's one good thing about Donald Trump coming in, it's that the end of wokeness is upon us. And this tweet that we featured in yesterday's video couldn't speak any louder. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Here's a picture of all the tractors and trailers coming in Trafalgar Square. London today, what is happening across the West, culminating in America rejecting communism and cultural and climate alarmism by voting in Donald Trump, is spreading like fire throughout the Anglosphere. Woke is in their final retreat. Keep kicking it until it's completely gone. I mean, I highlighted this comment as well. London today is proof change is spreading across the West. America's rejection of communism, cultural radicalism, and climate alarmism by electing Donald Trump has ignited a movement. This fire is spreading across the Anglosphere. People are waking up, pushing back, and demanding common sense over ideology. Woke is in full retreat, but it's not over yet. Keep pushing until it's gone. For good. Wouldn't that be nice? We've seen Donald Trump coming in saying that there's only two genders. Men aren't going to compete against women in sports anymore. That a lot of this woke nonsense, the whole alphabet mob, the how you identify thing and pronouns, people being put on notice within the government that's being removed. I mean, it's all a sweep to say enough of the make-believe. Let's get back to reality. Let's get back to common sense. And it looks like what this is it's not hatred. It's not people saying you're not allowed to think a certain way or feel a certain way. It's people saying it's overrun our lives. It's overrun our finances. It's overrun our government. Enough is enough. We have to live grounded in reality, and this is one of the greatest things I'm seeing spread by Donald Trump. Let's see what's happening in more detail over in London. As a farmers' protest, tractors and tanks descend on Westminster as Nigel Farage talks an end to death taxes. Hundreds have arrived in London to protest over the Labour plan, which is typically another version of our political parties, to introduce inheritance tax on farms worth more than $1 million. This is no different than our capital gains tax that's being imposed on Canadians. Tractors and tanks have descended on Westminster as farmers demand the Labour government rethinks its inheritance tax plans. Hundreds have arrived in the countryside for a protest rally over plans to introduce a 20% inheritance tax rate on farms worth more than £1 million. The event, organized to save British farming, is the third time farmers have rallied in the capital since Chancellor Rachel Reeves announced the measure last year. The farmers have parked their tractors along the Whitehall, with stretch of vehicles going back as far as Trafalgar Square. 4 tanks have also were spotted in the protest. This is unbelievable. Protesters can be seen holding Union Jack flags and displaying banners in support of British farming. So far, Labour has insisted it will not U-turn on its plans, but protest organizer Liz Webster told The Independent that she hoped the action would bring ministers to the negotiation table. She accused the government of marching into a food crisis. Again, go woke, go broke, right? You're going to keep treating your people like a battery farm. You're going to keep treating them as your way of funding your lavish lifestyles. This is the ultimate payback. This is your comeuppance. This is karma. When you treat your citizens like this in a democracy, there comes a time, and I've said it over and over again, you push an animal into a corner, eventually it's going to swipe back when it's most desperate. When you threaten people's ability to put food on the table, people kind of like the idea of not starving to death. Of course they're going to rally. The rally comes as MPs debate an e-petition with more than 148,000 signatures calling to keep the current inheritance tax exemptions for working farms. Earlier, Nigel Farage called for an end to death taxes in his address to British farmers on their way to protest. Ms. Webster said that the Reform UK leader was not invited to the event, accusing him of jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, look at this. Read the full story. Here it is. The large convoys of tractors and tanks filled the street of Westminster in the latest protest against new inheritance tax rules. Monday's rally, organized by Save British Farming comes as MPs debate e-petition for more than 148,000 signatures, again calling to keep the current inheritance tax exemptions for working farms. Politicians, including former Home Secretary James Cleverly and Reform MP Richard Tice, were among those present while Nigel Farage attended an earlier event and called for an end to the death tax. We've said it time and time again. Taxation is theft. And when the government abuses those taxes, when they use it to fund themselves, when they use it, again, as you look through the United States and their audit going on with Elon Musk and Doge and big balls, this is what people are starting to wake up and see, is that our tax dollars are being thrown out the window for nothing, for DEI, for woke policies, for frivolous spending, rather than being put to good use. People are fed up losing their shirts over this. A farmer says that the policy has decimated confidence in the industry. Speaking with the Daily Mail, Chris Green, who's 58, who also owns a farm in North Yorkshire, said, "We're here to preserve our industry. It has been torn to shreds and the policy hasn't even come into force yet. So again, this would cripple them. I was in disbelief when Labour announced it. It took us all by shock. It is short-sighted and has decimated confidence in the agriculture business. It didn't need any help to be undermined. This has been the financial nail in the coffin." People have had enough. They're done. They're fed up. No mas. This is what we're starting to see across the world, and we're starting to see it in Canada as Liberal ministers are now tearing an about pace saying, oh, well, we're going to start pulling back the consumer carbon tax. Maybe we were wrong telling people that the environment is so bad that your taxes can change the weather. They're starting to see the light, that woke is on its way out, that we're winning this fight, ladies and gentlemen. And if anything we can take from this, this is a celebration. This is a great time to be alive. With another massive convoy dropping on England that sparks this kind of enthusiasm behind a country gathering together to say enough is enough. We're in control, not the government. For me personally, it does nothing but spark hope that maybe we can start to see more of this kind of behavior in our country, more in this behavior in America, and countries across the world that have been abused by their governments as we move forward, to see them get their marching papers and leave. Let me know what you guys think down below about these England protests. Do you want more coverage on it? Do you want me to talk about it to a greater extent and keep you up to date with what's happening in England? Let me know if you're inspired by their movement to tell their government enough is enough. Let me know what you think of the Trump effect. Is this session of Donald Trump going into the White House going to wake people up, bring people back to what is considered to be rational, normal thinking? Let me know your thoughts down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. If you're new here, click that subscribe button. It helps more than you think. It costs absolutely nothing. Hit the bell for notifications. Join me live here on the channel each and every Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, my live streaming show, where I'm joined by my beautiful wife, Mrs. Fringe, as we go over everything that's happened this week in politics, as well as everything coming up in the week ahead, as well as some back and forth within the greatest YouTube community on the platform. We look forward to chatting with you guys outside of making these videos and hearing what you have to say inside of those live streams. And we look forward to hearing what you have to say this Friday, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.